We have a video on this already regarding making sand-filled planters, so you need to watch that. I'm just going to make this planter to show you something different, and that is how we add a ring of ceramic cement tiles around the outside edge. So watch the video on how to make sand-filled planters. It's a really good video.
You can use cement planters in many different ways with many different functions in your garden.
Okay, so I want to talk about how you can change your garden drastically, and that is by learning a very simple task, and that is learning how to make cement planters of many different sizes, many different shapes, making gigantic planters, making small ones, making these guys, making square planters. If you can learn that art, it is super simple to learn, it's super simple to complete them. And if you actually do that, you can place them all the way throughout your garden and instead of spending $60, $120, $40, it adds up. So if you can watch the videos that I've created, there's many different planters that we've made. The sand fill method is the most user-friendly. It's the easiest one to make, so make sure you watch that video, sand fill method. And having all these cement planters everywhere really changes the way you create garden spaces. It's really interesting because these planters, they sort of are like an oasis. Like this is an oasis here. You can paint them, and by doing all this, you're basically creating little microclimates and little micro areas where these planters have a permanent home or not. One thing I always like to mention is I make two types of different planters. The first one is with bottom, and the second one is without a bottom. And those second ones get placed directly in the garden in topsoil, so the roots can go all the way down into the soil. So make sure to watch the videos on how to make these planters, and you won't regret it because it's very liberating having all these planters around your house. Okay, so I'm a little bit off. So what I'm going to do is just open these up ever so slightly so it disappears. This guy's a bit low. Make sure none of them are low. Okay, so what I do now is I start first at the bottom and I do this. I work the two materials, the two cements together. Okay, this is the third layer, and this is the one I'm going to decorate. I'm going a bit faster than normal because we want to tape this, but layer 2, probably an hour to dry like that. Okay, regresa sencillo. Making planters without a mold is complicated. Here we actually create a skeleton using rebar, 1/4-inch rebar. We weld the pieces together. We make two squares, one 30 centimeters and one 40 centimeters. We join those two squares with a 40 centimeter piece of rebar so we get this shape. This shape has to be strong, so we weld it really well in the corners, and after that it gets wrapped. And what I mean by wrapped is we use galvanized wire
to wrap the shape so that it has something to bond the cement to. So with the skeleton complete, we actually start cutting this galvanized wire mesh to fit the sides perfectly. Once we wrap this entire structure with this galvanized material, we tie it to the skeleton really well. It's very important to tie it nicely to the skeleton. And then it goes on to the cement. We basically make this really plasticky cement mix that is very rich, 2-to-1, so it dries very quickly. It is loaded with polypropylene fiber. The fiber really helps to add strength in the future. You want this cement to wrap around the galvanized, so sometimes we lift it up a little bit to get the cement to go underneath. Always do this on top of a plastic garbage bag because it separates so nicely after it dries. We usually do this with 5 planters at the same time, so it makes it worthwhile. And what happens here is we're smoothing out the surface to get everything nice and smooth on the inside of the planter. And here we're leveling it out, making it nice and smooth. So you would wait 2 hours and then you would do the next side. By waiting 2 hours, you actually can rotate the planter to go on its side, so you can do a next side. Here's what they look like when they're finished. Decorate them the way you want. You could use mosaic tile, smashed up tile to make them.